This week, you're going to be working on consumer privacy. It is lesson 6, and it's something that we're hearing more and more about in the news. And part of that is because of the breach of databases and what's supposed to be private and sometimes what is not private. And of course, our two biggest concerns are the theft of our social security number and the theft of our bank account numbers or credit card numbers. So those kinds of things usually are what they get when they breach a database. So in lesson 6, you're going to learn about keeping your personal information private and the challenge of that, as well as what you put on applications and payment history, when you make purchases, just a few of the financial records that you have that can be sold to third party and other organizations, which is a concern to all of us. So you'll also learn about opting out and your options as a consumer for databases and the profiles that they find on there. And you'll learn about the various issues related to personnel files as well, electronic mail monitoring laws that can protect your rights so that you do know what the law is. Be sure you read through the objectives so you know what you should be able to do by the end of this lesson. This week you'll be discussing about when you search for something on the internet, especially if you're using Facebook, and the next thing you notice, let's say you're searching for a refrigerator, the next thing you notice in your Facebook feed are all these refrigerator advertisements. Some people are a little frightened by that. It takes a little getting used to, and it does make you concerned about what they're picking up from you browsing on the internet. How to make sure that things are secure is very important. And we'll talk about the pros and cons. You have the activity page to do, which is not a lengthy one because, of course, this is a 1-credit course, so keep that in mind. And then the quiz, that's a little assessment of how you've done in the lessons and how well you've understood them. Start, though, by reading and the articles and watching the videos. This replaces a textbook, so be sure that you do look at the instructor's video first. Much of what's in the instructor's video will help you to respond to the questions on the assignment and some of the discussion. Here's an article on privacy notices. Here's a video about personal data online. Identity theft, something else we're all concerned about. And take a minute to think about your habits. Do you carry your Social Security card with you? You should not. You need to keep that in a secure place. And so you want to read this article on how to prevent fraud. Do you know what the biggest targets of identity theft are? This may surprise you, so be sure you read this article about high risk for identity theft. And also about identity theft protection, especially while you're traveling. Many of us like to travel. Some tools to protect identity, and then you will continue to begin the assignments. The discussion, potential benefits and dangers of others having your data. Don't talk just off the top of your head. We do want you to share any personal experience or experience of a friend or someone you've heard of that's had an interesting experience that we may learn from, but also use what's in the textbook when you look at the benefits and dangers as well. And you should also do one other research of your own. And I mentioned the Target data breach that happened a few years ago. I just happened to shop, and I don't shop there that often, but I did happen to shop during the time frame, and sure enough, I did have someone use my card at that time, and we were able to catch it. My bank was very good about notifying me very quickly, and we stopped it before I actually had any loss and before I had to go through a lot of what I have heard other people have to go through to try to get it straightened out. Usually you can get it straightened out, but it takes a long time. And then the activity, again, use the information that you get from reading the articles and watching the videos. And finally, the quiz. Let me know if you have any questions this week. I hope you have a great week. I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.